The 50-30-20 budget is a hugely popular budgeting strategy made popular by Senator Elizabeth Warren. And while I'm totally in support of more public figures bringing awareness to personal finances, I hate the 50-30-20 budget. And it's not that I hate the 50-30-20 budget more than a lot of other budgeting strategies. They all make the same massive error. Let me explain. For those of you that are new, I'm the fireman, and I'm trying to reach financial independence before I turn 30 years old. And to do that, I obviously have to take good care of my money. But what I don't do is follow the 50-30-20 budget. In fact, I have a completely different approach for managing my money, and I'll share that at the end. But first, let's go over what the 50-30-20 budget actually is. For those of you that are unfamiliar, the 50-30-20 budget says that you should spend 50% of your income on fixed expenses. So that's things like housing and food and any required debt payments. Next up, the 30 and 50-30-20 budget means that you should spend 30% of your income on discretionary spending. So that's things like eating out and clothes, travel, streaming services and other entertainment, stuff like that. Lastly, the remaining 20% of your money should go to savings. So that's either having an emergency fund, paying off more debt, or investing. Alright, so that's simple enough. So why would I never ever use the 50-30-20 budget for my own personal finances? Well, let's start with the 50% allocated for fixed expenses. Look, this might make sense for some people. Everyone earns a different income, and there's a limit to how little you can spend on things like housing and food. So especially for people with low-paying jobs in very expensive areas, this might be reality. Still, for a rule that's supposed to work for everybody, 50% seems pretty high to me. For example, in the county I live in, it's super expensive, and the average rent is over $2,000 a month. But you can still live on a lot less than that. I pay less than $900 per month in rent. So unless you have a super low-paying job, 50% kind of rings some alarm bells for me. If that's you, you should really think about moving to a cheaper area, finding cheaper transportation, or paying off debt as fast as possible. That's because, in reality, there is no such thing as a fixed expense. Sure, there are some limits to how little you can spend, but it's all adjustable. It might require moving, adjusting to new habits, or making some big changes in your life, but it's all in your control. Treating these categories as fixed is dangerous because these often account for the biggest chunk of people's spending. Don't let these big expenses get a pass. Let's move on to that 30% of income spent on discretionary spending. I could not disagree with this more. If you're already spending 50% of your income on fixed expenses, you should seriously be cutting discretionary spending. If you're spending 80% of your income, it'll make reaching financial independence and retiring early extremely difficult. In fact, even if you aren't already spending 50% of your income on fixed expenses, I would highly encourage you to cut back on this form of spending. 30% of your income is a huge amount, and these expenses are, by definition, optional. The more you cut these down, the faster you'll reach financial independence. And it won't just be a small difference. I even made a video about how cutting a morning coffee could be worth 24 years of savings. These small expenses add up. All in all, 20% of your income going to savings just isn't good enough. In fact, I even estimated how long it would take to reach financial independence if you used the 50-30-20 budget for your personal finances. Assuming a 5% real return, it would take 37 years. And guess what? It doesn't matter how much you earn. If you earn $40,000 a year or $200,000 a year, a 20% savings rate will just make it extremely difficult to reach financial independence. I'll link this calculator in the description below so you can play with the numbers yourself. But the point is, no matter what, the 50-30-20 budget won't get you to financial freedom very quickly. So instead of the 50-30-20 budget, how do I manage my own personal finances? Well, I have my own budget. I call it min-max. Before I explain the min-max budget, I wanted to tell you that today's sponsor is, drumroll please, nobody. Nobody sponsors these videos, and I'm not monetized on YouTube. I just make these videos because I want more people to manage their money better. If you want to help me with that mission, hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel if you like it, and sharing these videos with your friends and family is the best thing you can do. Greatly appreciated. Back to the video. My min-max budget is simple and easy. First, I minimize expenses. It doesn't matter if my income doubles next year, I'm going to keep spending the same amount that I am right now. I won't buy a car, I'll keep cooking for myself, and I'll keep living with roommates. My lifestyle just won't change. With my spending minimized, I'll maximize my savings. See, every dollar I save can be invested, and that'll help me reach financial independence even faster, something I made another video about. So it's by using this min-max budget that's helping me reach financial independence by 30 instead of 65. Using the 50-30-20 budget, that just wouldn't be possible. Now, you might be thinking that this whole min-max budget isn't really much of a budget. And you're right, it's not a budget. In fact, I never use a budget, which I explained in this video right here. I've never used a budget, I don't now, and I probably never will. And I also don't think that most people should. So I hope you've liked this video, and I hope you find this next one helpful for managing your personal finances. Either way, take care, I'll see you next time.